Hi there, I'm Don Ryan of Don Ryan and the Blank Canvas Movement, and you're watching Concert Junkies with Rob and John. Do these fellas a favor and hit that little bell for them, and subscribe to their page. They were very nice for allowing me to do this, so hook these fellas up, man. How did the members of your band meet? Okay, well, I was a solo performer for a while before I started working with the band that became the Blank Canvas Movement, who also played on this current record, War Walking Part 1. I knew Joe Vernazza, the drummer, from way back, high school days. You know, I always knew, like, he was a super talented guy. He was real easygoing. Everybody got along with him, like, you know, just one of those dudes. Like, everybody knows him, everybody likes him. So, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was the first guy I reached out to. And then he was down to jam. And on that same day, I reached out to my friend Rich Haddad, who is just an incredible bass player. He played most of the bass on this record, and he's just another one of those dudes who is just incredibly talented, easy to get along with, super nice dude. And at some point, his friend, who I knew a little bit, his friend Paul Vanderwall came by one of our rehearsals and brought his cello. And he hadn't even played the thing in God knows how long. Like, it was the first time he, like, just thing was all dusted up, and, you know, he just started playing it for the first time, and it just sounded awesome. Like, you know, like, it just kind of worked, and he got so much better over time. It was amazing to watch. Like, he just went from being somebody who hadn't picked up an instrument in a while, or hadn't picked up that instrument in a while, to somebody who's just crushing it, you know. Yeah, like, initially we were just happy to have some new sounds, kind of cool stuff on the songs, and then he became an integral part of the band. Like, he became the Eddie Van Halen, if you will. Like, he became the guy who, like, instead of guitar solos, we did, like, cello solos on this record, and so he was like the Van Halen. And then, of course, there's Chris Bobbins, who we met him at a show. He was a fan of our band. He just happened to be at a show. I think he might have been playing too, I'm not positive, but he just happened to, like, run into me later on after we had played and said, oh, like, you know, I really liked your music. And turned out, like, little while later, a short time after that, we were looking for a piano player, a keyboardist, and so he was the first guy to hit me up. And once I saw him play, he's phenomenal. I was like, basically, like, you know, you're in. And he's one of my best friends, like, absolutely one of the closest friends that I have. Like, we talk all the time, and just the coolest guy in the world. Like, so, and that really is, like, the deal with these guys in this band. Like, right now I'm kind of more doing a solo thing. Like, Joe had a kid, Chris Bobbins had a kid, Paul is doing a lot of schoolwork and stuff. Like, I think he's getting his master's now, if I'm not mistaken. But, like, so we don't see each other as often as we would like, and of course there's this COVID nightmare happening, but you know, I think at some point down the road we'll probably, like, rekindle something. And, you know, even if not, it was such a pleasure playing with these guys. They're awesome people and, you know, wonderful musicians. So that's the guys in the band. So, who influenced you to start playing music, was the question. I started playing guitar when I was about 12. Just like perfect time for me to start doing it. at the time and still now, I was this huge metal head. Like my favorite stuff was like Pantera and old Metallica and stuff like that, and like Machine Head. And I happened to luck out in a major way where my guitar teacher was also into the same stuff, and he was just this incredible shredder. This guy named Dennis Kimack, phenomenal talent. Just like the second I walked in and saw him play, I knew like that's what I want to do. I want to like just spend every waking moment trying to get good at that. But then, you know, like, so there was also the heavy stuff in the beginning, and then so many more artists, you know, I kind of collected as I grew. The Beatles, Beck, Queens of the Stone Age, Leonard Cohen, Tom Waits, and, you know, just a million other bands. Like, so many, I couldn't possibly name them all. But they all found their way into the sound. And they kind of found their way in a very nice way, like where you actually can spot these moments where there are like their actual Pantera influences, and like, you know, among the Leonard Cohen stuff, and like you'll be able to spot like there's like a definitely a tribute to like a Machine Head lyric or a Pantera lyric here or there, you know. So there's this amalgamation of different sounds. In fact, coming right up now is an acoustic version of a song called A Mechanical Profundity, which is on the new album War Walking Part 1, available through Mid 400 Records. And yeah, I think you'll probably be able to hear, you know, a bunch of different sounds going on. There's definitely some dark, heavy stuff, as well as some trippy, weird stuff going on in there as well. So, enjoy.
An angel came down to tell me of self-doubt. She was filled with insect poison till her lips were out. Kill the slaves that ran away and let the rats free now. The fleeting man with the sheet in hand calls the master out. Consequence you can't concede for everything that you believe. Haste the day, moves away, mechanical profundities. Oh, and everything between. Rest your head upon my bed, the mattress so unclean. The consequence you can't conceive for everything that you believe. Haste the day, moves away, mechanical profundities. The artist's heart is in your card, a natural tendency to kill the man with the brush in hand, consume him for free. His last collage, such a mirage, before he set himself free. So take down his heart and tear it apart, or just let him be.
Okay, so question 3. When you go on tour, what do you have to have with you? I mean, I would say without a doubt, food, water, and oxygen. Without a doubt. Most important, oxygen, but also food and water. One time I was talking to this older cat, this old jazz veteran. He told me, son, when you go on tour and you're up on that stage, you make sure you got oxygen and you can breathe. And I took that to heart. So I'm gonna say, what I have to have with me when I go on tour, oxygen. Alright, so question 4. I believe this is question 4. If you weren't playing music, what would you want to do with your life? I really don't know. It's a funny one because I don't know the answer really, but there was a really hysterical moment with a friend of mine who actually is in the band, where we were recording one night, and I'm not gonna tell you who it is. Like, it's a very intelligent guy, but everybody in the band is very intelligent, so that doesn't give it away. But we were, I don't know, we were having like a really difficult recording session where just nothing was going right. And he just went on a rant. It was just like, damn it, I could have been a doctor or a lawyer or anything I wanted, but I got bit by the music bug, and here I am with you in this studio right now at 3 o'clock in the morning. And it was just hysterical. And I kind of relate to that. I mean, that is, like, the moment he started ranting, I was like, sometimes you, like, tell your friend to hold, like, hey man, you calm down. Sometimes you let your friend just go. And I was like, this guy's making a lot of sense to me, I'm just gonna let him go. I don't know what I'd be doing, but I know I'd be making a lot more money if I was doing something other than music. So I guess that maybe answers the question. So this question is, what is your favorite venue to play and why? Honestly, I don't know. I had a lot of venues that I loved playing, but then I took so long to record this album that I am releasing piecemeal. So like, it's overall, I think it took like almost 6 years or so to actually record the album, and we're breaking it up into 3 pieces. War Walking Part 1, War Walking Part 2 is coming out in I think early October, and then we're shooting for early January, I believe, for War Walking Part 3. So it's like this gigantic record, and I had no recording experience going in, so it was more like I took such a break from playing shows because it took so long to make the record. But all that being said, a lot of the Mint 400 records shows, and Mint 400 is the label that I'm on, a lot of those shows are at some real cool places, and one is really close to where I live, called Stosh's, and it's a fun venue. I've never had a bad time at a show there. Just awesome shows, and Mint 400 does a lot of shows there, so I cannot wait till this COVID nightmare is over. Like, I mean, look at me. I'm literally, I'm in the middle of nowhere right now. I'm in the Catskills. I don't have internet. I don't have cell service. I'm literally just getting away from everything. I cannot, and I love it here. Don't get me wrong. I still stay here, But my God, it would be nice to go back and not have to worry about, dying from playing a show. So, yeah, I think Stosh's, and I hope to God that they can hold out and stay a business and stay afloat. That's the place that I am most looking forward to playing. When the nightmare ever ends. Sorry, all these answers are depressing, but these are dark times. Alright, so this question is, what was the first concert you ever went to? Now, the first concert I ever went to, don't you dare make fun of me, was Debbie Gibson. Debbie Gibson Electric Youth Tour, baby. I don't know what year that album was, and I don't have internet here to look it up, so you gotta do the work. I couldn't have been more than like seven or eight, maybe, and I liked that show, but it didn't blow my mind. Don't get me wrong, Debbie Gibson blows my mind. That record, Electric Youth, blew my mind, but I'd say the first real show, real show that I ever went to was Aerosmith. Aerosmith and Jackal. It was completely insane. The guy from Jackal, he ran out on stage at one point with a chainsaw and just started destroying everything in sight with this chainsaw, and you didn't know what musical value was being added, and then suddenly he goes up to the microphone and does a chainsaw solo, which he actually kind of he was revving it up and revving it out, and it actually somewhat sounded musical, which was phenomenal for a chainsaw. So I don't know, man. I don't think the Debbie Gibson thing makes me look uncool, but if it does, I've more than made up for it with the Aerosmith show and Jackal coming out and destroying things with chainsaws. So there you go. So this question is, what bands would you like to perform with? I don't know. I don't want to list a bunch of bands some super crazy rock stars. Of course, I'd love to play with Queens of the Stone Age or something like that. But it seems like when people answer those questions and they go oh, I want to play with Queens of the Stone Age, they don't take into account how badly they would do. A band like Queens, if I played with Queens of the Stone Age, they would destroy me. It would get destroyed. I would probably start booing myself, and wait and go and say, please, Queens, come out, and save me. But I don't know, maybe not, probably. But there's a bunch of bands that I'm really into. The idea of playing with, there's a bunch of bands on the label, 400, that I've gotten to know through mainly online interaction. Actually, a lot of the bands totally online interaction because of COVID. So there's a bunch of bands that I become friendly with, and I'm starting to get to know them a bit, as much as you can online. And I like their music. So there's bands like The Clydes, Son of Dove, Fairmont, Reese Van Riper, who I do know, and the last show I was at my girlfriend were at before COVID was a Reese Van Riper show, and that was like the most fun I had had at a show in so long, just watching them play. It was such a ball. So yeah, I'm so psyched to like get out and play with some of these bands. So this question is, where are you going to be next, and where can people follow you online? Well, until this COVID nightmare is over, I'm gonna be right in this chair on this porch in the middle of the Catskills, and that's it. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving this porch until this nightmare is over. So that's where I'll be. No, but really, I guess I'll be doing online stuff. Online stuff for as long as this is going on. As far as following me online, having some trouble with the English language today. My website is donryanmusic.com. I got some blogs up there that some might pique your interest. Twitter handle is donryanmusic. My Instagram handle is Instagrampa.Don, right? So it's like Instagrampa Don, Instagrampa.Don. I'm most active on Instagram because I do a lot of photography. That's something that I've gotten into recently. So I post all that stuff on there all the time. I hardly ever use Facebook anymore, but I use my personal page. I don't use the Facebook music page for reasons that I explained on the music page. But like, I believe the Facebook is facebook.com/don.ryan1. Well, I'm not sure about that, so maybe. And I'm also on YouTube. Again, it's Don Ryan Music on YouTube, and my stuff is on Spotify and a bunch of other places I've never heard of. So check it out, enjoy. And I just want to thank you guys for watching this, and I want to thank Rob and John for inviting me to do this. This has been awesome. So cool. Cheers. Thanks everybody.